What's up, guys? It's Drifts and Lifts here. All right, so today's video, we got some fun stuff for you as usual. And I got my dad with me here. So you guys have not met my father. It's the reason I drive Volvos is not because I have daddy issues. I do have a father. So this is my dad's new car, and he got this a little while ago now, I guess, hey Dad? About a year ago now. Yeah. So this is the first summer he's actually got it on the road, you know, cruising around, and we actually just got it on the dyno here at Post Haste Performance. So my dad just wanted to check, make sure, you know, it wasn't knocking, make sure it's making proper power, make sure it's running all smooth. So we actually did a couple runs on the dyno there. We'll show you guys the results. Kind of interesting. Dad, tell me about the car.
So it's a 1970 Dodge Superbee, 383. It has a 4-speed pistol grip.
Now, was this actually a factory 3-speed car? Was it not?
This was actually a factory 3-speed that was swapped out back in, I think, mid 2000s for a 4-speed.
Yeah, so just a little better for cruising, right? Yep. A little electric gear.
Better cruising. It was repainted in 2004 as well. Other than the paint and the transmission, everything else is original.
So it actually hasn't been restored, right? It is an original car.
It's an original car. Yeah. No restoration except for the paint. So
I'll take a little walk around here, guys. It's in amazing condition. You know, you don't see these Superbees very often as far as the old muscle cars go. You know, there's Chargers, Camaros, Chevelles, all that good stuff. You'll see those a lot more common. We actually went to a really big car show this summer, and we did not see one other Superbee. This is the only one there. So, and actually, I guess, Dad, this is probably your favorite muscle car since way back in the day, hey?
It is, just because I grew up with Mopar's. Colton's grandpa, my dad, was a Mopar salesman, so he was bringing home Mopars all the time for the family to cruise around in, Roadrunners, Cudas, Superbees, GTXs. So I've always been a Mopar fan.
Heck yeah. And this one's got probably the coolest front end of all Mopars, in my opinion.
One year only.
So this is the 1-year Superbee front end, and it actually almost looks like a set of B-wings, right?
That's what they call them, the B-wings.
Yeah.
They do, yeah.
So it's just such a menacing looking front end. The car just stares at you. It's got quite the cool stance. So we're gonna go for a little cruise in this thing after we check out the dyno records there, guys. No drifting in it today, just a little cruise. I got the GoPro hooked up. We'll toss it in the interior. Just do like a point of view cruise in a 1970 Superbee. It's funny how like old cars like this, you can just pop the hood from the outside. Like someone could tamper with your stuff if they wanted. There we go, we got the 383 Magnum here. So I guess, what engines would this car have came with choices? They're like a 383?
So the 383 was a stock, pretty much factory. The 440 Commando was the next level up. And then of course the Hemi. The Hemi was the
really rare one.
The one that everybody wanted because they went fast. 426, I think the Hemi was.
Yep. And yeah, I guess they probably only made like Superbees with Hemis in them. You're probably talking about a couple hundred cars maybe.
Yeah, you know, less than maybe 500.
Yeah, really small production of those. But Superbees with the 383 and a manual transmission already is a really rare car. You're probably looking at only about a 8,000 production run. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked. My dad might actually put it in the wheel for me one day.
If you're lucky.
Yeah, I'll promise not to mod it. No drift in this thing. So another cool thing, guys, is it's got the factory optional spoiler on it. So that wouldn't have came on all of the Superbees.
I used to call it a wing.
A wing, yeah. So I think it makes it look kind of, you know, more like a performance muscle car. Another thing I personally really like about this specific one is the color matched wheels. I've always just loved the look of color match wheels, steelies on these old muscle cars. I think it looks pretty. It almost looks kind of like NASCAR-esque of the time, you know?
With the poverty caps.
Yep, totally. Yeah. It's pretty sweet. So, all right, guys, let's go check out these dyno graphs on the computer there. All right, guys, so we got the dyno graphs up on the screen here. So Dan overlaid my Blue Wagon's dyno graph just for comparison, just to see kind of, you know, what the difference of those engines are. So the lower graph is the Superbee. That thing made 297 foot-pounds of torque at just over 3,000 RPM and 222 wheel horsepower at about 4,800 RPM. So it's just hilarious to look at, you know, the comparison of these two graphs. Obviously my engine is turbocharged, 4-cylinder. And you know, obviously this thing doesn't have any boost. But yeah, it's crazy. Just the Volvo comes in, but you know what? The Volvo actually makes fairly decent torque, and then it really surges up when boost kicks. But yeah, so we were actually able to increase the horsepower by about 10 on the torque and the horsepower side by advancing the timing 4 degrees on the Superbee. So my dad's happy with that. He's gonna give him a little more in the seat of the pants for this thing. Honestly, this car wouldn't really have much more power than this. I actually think that's a pretty healthy number for this kind of engine. You know, it's an old carbureted engine. The AFRs were quite nice. Through the run, they're sitting around mid-12s. In the low end, it was a little on the rich side, and that's why you aren't seeing the torque as high here. But all in all, yeah, I think it's a pretty good running old engine. It's got a Weber carb on it. I'm not too sure if there's much tunability for those, if we could adjust that in any way. But that timing advance was the most it really wanted. So here you go, guys. That's what you're working with on a pretty good running factory 383 engine from 1970. And as always, guys, make sure to check out Post Haste Performance. They are the sponsors of the Drifts and Lifts YouTube channel. So Dan does all the tuning on all my Volvos. If you guys need EFI stuff done, any sort of performance work, always check out Post Haste Performance. And yeah, so let's go for a ride in the Superbee. Sounds pretty good. So another thing here, guys, is this is the pistol grip shifter. So I don't know if this would have been an option, Dad. Probably an option in these cars.
I think if you had a manual, you pretty much got the
came with that. Yeah, sure. This actually got a working tachometer.
Call it tic-tac-tock.
Yeah. Oh no, the tack works or the speedo works? Tack doesn't work,
the
right?
Tack works.
Tack works. Okay. Yeah.
But the clock doesn't work.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So tick-tock tack actually is what they called it.
Oh yeah. I'd probably go reverse and then. Yeah. Alright guys, so my dad is nice enough to let me take the Superbee for a little cruise here. So have I driven an old school muscle car? I'm trying to think, maybe once or twice, but nothing this cool.
I'm sure he's competent. Here's hoping.
Yeah. Oh, it's got a stiff pedal, pretty stiff clutch.
Pretty stiff, yeah.
Trans feels pretty nice actually though. It kind of slips into gear, not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty smooth actually.
Oh, that pedal takes some getting used to. Oh, the clutch comes way out at the top.
It does,
actually,
it does, yeah. It's top end clutch.
The clutch almost like pops at the top.
I know, it comes halfway and then pops out.
Yeah. This car sounds real good, guys. It's got like a cherry bomb something or other muffler on it. I'm sure the original muffler was rusted out a long time ago. But hey, maybe not though, because considering the condition of the rest of the car, yeah, they might have held in there pretty good.
Probably in salt-free country.
Yep. So we had a little bit of a scare, guys. We were looking at the oil pressure gauge and it's reading 0. It was reading something at one point, but I guarantee that the oil pressure gauge is not working now, because if you had 0...
Beautiful 3-point turn.
That's pretty stiff. It gets about this speed, it starts feeling better though.
Armstrong steering.
Yeah. So this is what it felt like to live in the 70s, I guess, eh?
This was it.
Yeah. Except gas was a little cheaper.
Cruising through the A&W.
Yeah. This thing rides like a boat, guys. The suspension just floats.
Floats down the road.
You'll notice that the seats that me and my dad are sitting in aren't exactly performance buckets, I would say.
No side support, lateral support, non-existent.
Yeah, I don't think the guys were intending for like Trans Am racing in the Superbees.
No.
No.
Straight line.
Yeah. So about 200 horsepower, guys. It's got enough torque to push the car down the road pretty nicely. It actually feels pretty good driving it. So it's just so funny because you know, in the new world now, all the performance cars, there's so many things you can do. Like my Volvo makes 400 horsepower, but this is what the performance cars used to be of the time, right? This would have been a fairly fast car of its day.
Yeah, it would have been one of the top performers.
Yeah. With the Hemi, that would have been the...
Hemi would have been the big one.
That would have been the best one. Okay guys, we're gonna do just a little pull, just to kind of see what she feels like. Okay, so I'm gonna start in first, get a little bit of RPMs up, and
Nice. Well done.
it's got a pretty good lump. That's a good chop. These 383s really sound good at idle. From what we know, this car might have a different camshaft in it that was put in at one point, but it's tough to say. Yeah, chuck a nice rev up the red line. Sounds good. Sweet. All right guys, so there you go. That's my dad's Superbee for you. So yeah, I assume you're gonna hold on to this thing for a while, eh, Dad?
Ah, yeah, probably for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, it's a pretty cool car, guys. I'm really stoked that my dad's got this thing. Now we can go cruise together.
We can.
Yeah.
hit the car shows.
Heck yeah. So my dad actually used to have a 05 Mustang GT, kind of like the midlife crisis car that he had.
Yeah.
And yeah, he just sold that recently, about 3 years ago. And how many kilometers were on that thing? 11, 14,000? Yeah.
12,000.
12,000 on a 05 GT Mustang. It was pretty mint shape. But yeah, so this, it was actually red as well. So this is a bit of an upgrade, definitely.
Way cooler.
Much cooler. All right, guys, before we end this video, I think it would be fun if I got my dad to drive my gold car. I think that'd be kind of cool. So we're just gonna go for a boot down the road in that thing. All right, guys, well, let's go for a little cruise in this thing. It's just such a contrast to the Superbee because this car almost weighs like half the weight and half the horsepower as well.
150 horsepower, yes?
100.
100?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I'm already in third gear. Now I'm in fourth.
Wow.
Now I'm in fifth. like we're at 2,000 RPM in fifth gear going like, you know,
Wow.
yeah.
You could probably start in fourth.
You can start in third or whatever you really want, yeah. Let's get some warmth in it. Like, oh, I set it so the clutch comes off the ground pretty quick. Yeah. Oh yeah, don't use all the turning because it can turn like so tight that it'll actually like bind the steering.
Do you have
welded diff?
Welded diff?
Oh yeah, yeah. So short. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's like a little race car.
Brakes are
Oh, really good.
really good
Yeah.
brakes.
I put all brand new brakes and pads and everything.
Whoa, takes a little bit. You want to cut her too sharp?
Yeah. Yeah, steering wheel's a bit wobbly.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's very responsive.
It's super-
Holy, man.
Yeah, because the steering ratio is extremely tight now.
Yeah, it's a go-kart, all right.
Oh yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's so much different.
If I put these tires in the front on the back also, then we could really go around corners because like what happens now, if you're trying to go around corners really fast, the back end slips out on you, right?
Okay.
So if I got some equal tires, then it would be so good.
Wow, that's... I can see that would be crazy fun on a twisty road.
Oh yeah.
What's on here for is there any muffler at all? Or?
No muffler. It's got a resonator, that's all. Yeah. It's a little loud for me. I actually do want to put a muffler on eventually. Not this one, next one.
No. Yeah, it is pretty loud.
Yeah, it's really loud. All right, Dad, what do you think of this Volvo?
Wow, that's totally different steering than the Superbee. Yeah, the shifting's totally different.
It's quite tight.
Looks like it's definitely a fun vehicle to drive.
Definitely, yeah.
Like driving a go-kart, like you say.
Pretty much, yeah. 2,300 pounds in a Volvo 740 is as close as you're gonna get to a go-kart with one of these cars. Yeah, it's the contrast between the long gears and the sloppy steering in the Superbee to this thing.
Yeah,
It's
totally
night and day, yeah.
Totally different drive, but both fun.
Yeah,
They're
both fun in their own way for sure. All right, guys. So yeah, that's pretty much a wrap up of today's video. Thank you, Father, for bringing the Superbee out.
Thanks for having me.
Heck yeah.
Do it again.
So yeah, we'll have to film some more videos of this thing soon. Maybe we'll do some donuts next time once he gets a new set of
Or at
tires or
least a
something.
burnout.
At least a burnout, yeah.
Just a burnout.
Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't wheel hop too bad with that old solid axle. But anyways, guys, so yeah, lots of stuff to come for the channel. Like I said, got the new setup going on the Blue Wagon soon. We're gonna be bringing that to post-haste performance to get it retuned, hopefully crack that 500 horsepower number. And yeah, I'm gonna be cruising this gold car for a little while in the setting that it is. I don't think I'm really gonna mess with it too much. I have the green wagon that I've been building up in my garage. I got a new turbo for that and stuff, so yeah, just stay tuned, like and subscribe for
Cool Volvo dads.
yeah, cool Volvo dads. There you go. All right, guys. Peace out.